Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar today with JTrader. We do this every Wednesday. He's a stocks trader, and he'll take some live positions here in the stock market. Let's hold on just a moment here as I get up and running. Okay. All right. Anyway, JTrader will come in just a minute. He's finishing up his trading room. He does offer mentorship and education, so I'll give you some links for that if you want to reach out to him directly. You guys know who he is. He's been trading for quite a while and trading with us for quite a while using Bookmap. Here's his information here, contacts and links, etc., which I'll put into the chat for you. Got to go through the disclosures. This is important. Understand what you're getting involved with in here. It's only for educational purposes, and these are not live positions. I mean, they are live positions. They are in demo. This is so that no one gets carried away here, and you understand the risks that are involved with trading here. So, general disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Live trading is in simulation, demo, paper trading mode, and strictly for educational purposes. Live trading executed in simulation cannot accurately represent realistic trading performance. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security nor lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so as we wait for Joseph, let's take a look here at the S&P E-mini and see what's going on. Here we go. All right, so let me see if everyone can hear me correctly. And all right, guys, if you can just give me a thumbs up or say yes in the chat there. I'm broadcasting okay, both in Discord and in YouTube. Okay, so oh shoot, look, okay guys, it looks like in Discord I have not been broadcasting. Can you hear me now in Discord? I knew something was wrong. So we went through the risk disclosures, etc. So let me show that screen once more here, just so you guys know what you're getting involved with here. The general disclosure and the risk disclosure here, that this is all for educational purposes, and the live trading is in simulation, demo, paper trading mode. And then also that past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. There's lots of risk involved here with trading futures and equities. All right, if you guys can just give me a thumbs up in Discord that yeah, you can hear me. Sorry about that. I know it wasn't working. It should be working now. Okay, yeah. All right, thank you, JC. All right, guys. Well, let's take a look at this S&P then. Wow, nice move up into 85, 36.85 here. So we're in a kind of it's been a nice little up move here. Actually saw this unfold using a new tool. I'll explain this more later when we release this new tool in a few weeks. But being able to identify larger players more clearly. Anyway, there's I can't wait to show it. That's why I'm just busting at the seams here. It's really great. It's really cool. Being able to see exactly where larger players are and then where the price might go. Okay, so for example, look at this high liquidity coming in here at 37.60, 36.70. I'm sorry, looking for price to drop down to 60 here. Okay, because that's where the liquidity is. Right, nice move to the upside into high liquidity, nice move right back down, and then let's see if we can get these some sellers in here to try to reach back down into this liquidity here. Okay, in the heat map. Now filtering for the heat map, you can already do it. You can look at high liquidity in here by filtering here. There's going to be a way to be able to do that with the MBO data. Okay, you will need Rhythmic for that. But you're going to be able to filter and look at not just, high liquidity in the order book like this here, but high orders. Okay, who's trading 5 lots, who's trading 10 lots, whatever, and where exactly they are, right? So, and how does the market respond to those larger players? So larger players are here. There's no question about that at 36.70. What does the market think of it? Okay, well, it's coming up to that area here, but it's kind of shying away now. So what if we get sellers that come in right? And this is why we look at the order flow here, and this is why we look at these areas here. This is a pivot area. See the buyers up above it here? What if sellers below it? This is where we're looking to go here. Okay, all right. So what if that scenario, obviously that didn't play out. Okay, instead we got more buyers. So what has happened in this scenario here is this is a false breakdown. Okay, now actually it could be we'll see. It's come back up into here and it's starting to fail already. All right, so again, we're back at this level right here, looking for sellers below it. Boom, down below 65, 62, 60. All right, so we're going to see a nice stop run there. We can see it. Okay, and then looking for continuation here on the downside, looking for our sellers here, and looking for them to press it down into 60. The high liquidity is down here at 60, put it that way. All right, so and we're looking for these sellers to come in at the bottom of the range here, right, like this, and let's see them push it now. Okay, and to meet the buyers down here. And there we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful move. All right, so guys, this new tool will be able to identify some of these areas even clearer. Okay, now we still haven't traded 60, but we're still looking for it. Okay, it's just been banging around in here, as you can see. So anyway, more transparency, more clarity in some of these moves, and understand. Now this is a wicked move to the upside to stop everybody out, go above this range here, back into the bigger range here, and then it fails. Okay, so however, this is what we're talking about in the order flow. We can look for the scenario for the breakdown. That was what we were looking for. We didn't get time to cover the second scenario here, but then our original scenario, it came back to that area and it unfolded. You can even see the retest back here. Okay, why I'm going over this, and it sounds almost like double speak, but it's not. It's just order flow. This is the move to the upside. We see that people got stopped out. We came back down. We did not get a move higher here. In fact, the swing is up here, right? So in essence, this is again why we look at market structure and how important market structure is. Okay, so let me go through it again here. I can't emphasize it enough. Market structure. Look at the move to the upside here, and then below this pivot here, the sellers. Okay, and where do they come? They came, well, they even blazed through this little area here. Okay, that's where these buyers came in. But look at the retest, right? And this move here with all this buying in here, we know that there are a lot of stops, but it didn't even come up to this this swing up here. Actually, the swing's a little bit higher. It's up here. Okay, it couldn't make it, right? So we're looking for it to come back through this area, through our pivot, like this pivot here, like this pivot here, all right, and then to come through that, it retested back to it, and then the continuation. Understanding the order flow and this dynamic here is going to give you an edge, because we see it again and again and again, right? Instead of getting caught up and duped into it, look for it to unfold. Okay, this move from 67 down to 60, there's 7 points right there in the S&P E-mini. That would have been captured in about 3 minutes. Okay, so anyway, if that's the time frame you're trading, great. And in fact, you could still be in this. If you're looking the next area, well, it just traded right to it right here. Okay, this is where these guys came in on the buy side and moved it up. Okay, now the lows are down here, 36.50, and that's where the liquidity is. The low of the cash session here is down around 52.5 or so. Okay, so anyway, let's get back in here. Any questions anyone's having? No? All right. All right, and we're just waiting for JTrader. He will be in shortly. Okay, so once he's in, we'll hand it over to him. But this is what we do every day, though. Like on Wednesdays, we go through the market first, wait for JTrader, and then once he's in, he'll get the broadcast here. All right, no questions. Okay. Let me go back up. I'm just looking for JTrader right now. And no, not in yet. Okay, no problem. All right, let's take a look now again. And in fact, you know, guys, I guess we'll try to do it on Friday. The bigger picture. I wanted to all week long. I just got sidetracked into new kind of order flow events. And we covered those things, and there was a lot of questions about stops and iceberg sweeps, absorption, that kind of stuff. So we covered it. But I want to get into and extrapolate, you know, how some of these strong moves, how they unfold, and their significance in the market. Okay, because not just on this time frame, we're going to take this information from a low time frame, then that's where we're going to extrapolate it out to a higher time frame. Okay, because you'll see it is the same stuff. It's just totally hidden here in the candlesticks. You just don't see it. And look, even volume is separated in the candlesticks. It's in a subchart. Guys, this is just it's lacking so much transparency in here. That's the thing I don't like about the candlesticks. Right, so this is separated. Well, that's not very helpful, and we're just getting one big bar here, or any bar, and we're getting the total volume on that bar. That's it, and we don't even know if it's buying and selling or selling. Right, we don't know. We just know there's a lot of volume on this big bar. That's it. We don't know where it took place on this big bar. This kind of insight is what we want to understand. This is what gives us a heads up to the potential move lower or the retracement back up into some of these areas in here. Okay, that's just for starters. You know, then we're looking at the heat map, and then soon we're going to be filtering for the heat map for larger orders, etc. So you know, there's more and more transparency we're getting into. Understanding these moves, then that's going to offer you the edge. All right, so trade the way that you trade. Okay, looks like Joseph is just coming in a couple minutes here. He's just connecting. Trade the way that you trade, but just look at the order flow to match it. We talked yesterday about ATRs and measured moves, etc. If that's what you use, great. If you use Fibonacci's, great. I'm not a fan of Fibonacci's, as you guys know. Or if you use floor trader pivots, great. Just look at the order flow around your areas that you trade. You're going to be able to make a filter for a much better trading decision. Okay, and it should increase your probabilities tremendously, just tremendously. Yeah, anyway, this is the key, and we'll go over, I think, more of this on Friday. In fact, I'll put it into the subject header for the webinar to cover that, yeah, we'll go through it. So anyway, yeah, Joseph will come in just a second. So we're still seeing more sellers come in here. Okay, we're below this area here, just after 10 o'clock. We saw that little spike here, and retraced right back to it again here as well. Okay, so nonetheless, you know what we're looking at here. We can even take the heat map off and the volume dots off. Okay, market structure wise, we are still, from this time frame on, from after 10 o'clock, well, after 10:02 or 3 or whatever, we are in a downtrend. Okay, making lower lows and lower highs. That is the structure so far. Joseph, are you there?
Good morning, Bruce. Yes,
Good morning from the U.S.
from the US over here, Colorado. Tomorrow I'm
Oh,
going to Trader for Cause, so last day over here in Colorado.
nice, nice. Is that where it is? It's going to take place in Colorado, or is it going to? It's in Las Vegas, I think, right?
Yeah, Las Vegas.
Ah,
Yes,
okay.
over here I came for some holidays to see my friends and relatives.
Oh yeah, and you're in skiing.
No, I'm not skiing.
You go to Vail to go hiking.
Yeah, I went to hike a little bit. I was Vail, Breckenridge, very nice places. I liked it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, great, great. Okay, well, let's see. You got command here, Joseph. So have at it.
Okay, Bruce, can you see my screen? Just give me
Yes,
confirmation.
yes. We're all set.
Okay, perfect. So, good morning, traders. As I said over here, running from the States, this morning was, uh, I would say, a normal day in small caps. Lately, what we've been having are stocks that open, dip, like you can see over here, for example, on tops, and then they extend. You can see this extension on tops over here to the 360, which this is the level of the pre-market high. You see this, we say over here, this dark yellow zone, right? This golden zone over here. And it basically, you can see these stuffs into the 370. This means over here a lot of sellers in. Okay, so they're like stuffing, seller jumping in, and then we had this unwind. Tops is one of those stocks. You can see over here that it really topped this heat map in the 380, so giving the perfect timing, right? But often what I do is I wait for the top and then I start looking for lower highs. Okay, so I start seeing lower highs. With these lower highs, they can reclaim the previous level 380 and then fail. I missed this trade. Personally, this morning was not trading for the fact that we still need over here to fix so many things. But this is a setup that I like to trade, especially if we look at the 5-minute chart. It's much clearer. You can see that we go up. This is the pre-market high, 360. Extension to that heat map over here, 380. You can see that we go to the 380, and then we start like topping to the 380 double top over here. And I mean, this is a perfect level where to start shorting 370. We start like fading, and then big wash to the big sellers in, and to the main support over here at 320. Okay, this 320 is a daily level. Okay, so I put my daily level over here, 320, from this high over here. So I use that high, okay, as my target. I look at a 5-minute chart, 1-minute chart, and then I see over here for that level where to take partial profit. So right now we are 10:15. So these stocks, after a certain time, if they hold the open level, they're not anymore an A plus setup. Okay. So what I'm looking over here, traders, is one thing. If we're going to have another major over here, fake break of 360, so I'm looking at this level over here of heat map, or 380, otherwise simply avoiding, because that's already like you know, my max time, okay, that I want to trade short this market. So it's going to be pretty interesting over here to look at the levels. This is a gap and extension. Okay, so a gap and crap turning a gap and extension play. You can see up here. We had an extension from the open of, let's see, I believe this was 34%. Yeah, exactly. You can see over here 34% extension from the open. So now I'm looking at, as I said, this 360 or this 380, 385 for a short. We're going to check after Amazon, BIF, ABOS, Apple, all good plays for the day.
So today you've been looking at a lot of the large caps as well.
Yes, we have over here, I think was Powell speaking soon, right?
I think
If I'm not
10
mistaken.
a.m. I think I'm not sure.
I think was at around 10:30, but we'll see. So right now, tops over here, no level to trade. So we're gonna wait, as I said, 360 or 380. Let's check Apple. Apple this morning had bad news. So I'm checking again the news over here on Apple.
Yeah, 10:15. Powell speaking,
Oh,
and
okay, perfect.
Bullard as well. 10:10. All sorts of people.
So Apple this morning was the only one that was outside the previous day range. Over here, gap down on bad news for the company. And I was looking for Apple cuts back on iPhone production amid dwindling demand. Okay, so you can see this was the previous day range over here, 151. Today I started to be interested, and I was looking for only below the 145 and 70, 145 and 50, too short at the gate, or sorry, or I said we're looking for 148 and 40 for a short. This morning we had this 148 over here. You can see it topped just into this pre-market resistance. This is one of the setups that I love to trade the most. It topped over here the 148, started to unwind, and now we're going to look if we're going to get back to this 148 and 50, or we're going to look below the 145. So mid-range over here for me, not really interested to trade. This was the morning pop. You can see the reversal of our V pattern that we always watch, Bruce. So we had over here our level, and over here we have a one wave, second wave, third wave. So I call this a three-wave pattern. This is a nice breakdown over here of the 147 and 60, which is this level over here. It's a break that we had, and then all unwind. Right
That's
now,
a
mid-range.
that's a so it is also a small head and shoulders pattern. They're beautiful. Um,
Yeah, exactly,
but
exactly,
you're
exactly.
looking at more of kind of the bigger picture V pattern in that. You don't really care about those small moves.
Exactly. I want to look over here for the break, especially of this open level.
Yeah.
And once we break this open level over here, I want to see a big selling pressure. You can see over here, just look at all these dots. The volume over here is all sellers. I mean, a little bit over here probably of covers or some dip buyers, but all sellers until this 146. This is extremely heavy tape, so perfect. But now over here we are mid-range, 147, so not really looking to play until this main level over here or below this level over here, 145. So in the range over here, 1015, 1030, this is not a play I want to take.
Joseph, if you can expand on that a little bit, because just a couple questions. Number one is on the way down, where would you be looking to reduce risk to take some profits? And then on the way back, this is hitting a lot of your moving averages. I'm
Mhm.
curious why you are not interested in playing it at these points.
Okay, so the first thing is we take the trade. This is a perfect over-under setup that I teach in the room. So when I have, first of all, I have my plan, my thesis. We're looking for this level of here of break in order to short. Somebody is more skilled can start taking up a first position over here. Then what I teach over here to my traders is to start grabbing over here the big partial, and then you can see that each bar is making a lower high. So until I see that the tape, first of all with Bookmap, that we were looking for those main sellers, and then I look also over here for all these lower highs. Until we're making lower highs, I'm not gonna take anything, maybe a trim something, but the setup tells me still to stay in. And this is the first higher high that we take. So the entry is around 147.50. You can even buy option puts over here. Comes down to this 147.50, 145.70, sorry. So this is the first main target. Also this level, if you go back, is that pre-market low. At this point, we are outside the previous day range. We are outside the pre-market range. So what I'm looking to do, I'm looking to see if we're going to have a J-line rejection out of this 145.50. The point is we had a perfect J-line rejection over here. If you can see, Bruce, it touched here, reversed. This is a beautiful pattern I love to trade, and it would be here. The point is we are still inside that range. So ideally, I want to trade only below this pre-market level, so only below this 145.70 when we're trading 10 o'clock, 10:15, 10:30. And now, as you can see, we start like bouncing, we start curling, mid-range, no trade for me, no trade at this point. So just simply waiting. But Apple this morning was the main setup that I was looking to trade short, together with Amazon, which unfortunately didn't play. Amazon just simply bouncing over here and like uptrending. But if I look at a bigger picture, hourly chart, we are in a bearish trend. I mean, this is totally bearish. The first time over here we rejected, second time, third time, fourth time over here, and now the play of today for me is still only a counter trend. If you look at this level over here, we have a decent amount of resistance at these peaks. So if anybody is long, 140, 116, 116 and 50, that's the main level where to take profit. Because what I've been doing the market up till now, each time we get this band over here, we're getting rejections. So one time over here, we pushed above, we rejected, but we rejected over here, we reject over here, we reject over here. And it tends to, you see, even in the past weeks over here, months, it tends to go to this zone over here and reject. Or when we're long, it tends over here to hold as support. So at this point for me, no trade, counter trend on Amazon. I'm just waiting to see this 116 and 50, if we can have a rejection, stop short, or simply avoiding. ABS, the main play of the day. So ABS is a stock with, first of all, it's a small cap. This stock by stats, we were talking about last time, by 10 o'clock, holding the open level has 80% chances to close green on the day. Now, just now is giving the setup to short. You can see over here, this is stuff at the VWAP, right? Just at this point over here, you can see we had a fake clear out of 820. So stock to open over here 930, bounce from the J lines, bounce again from the J lines. And this morning we took the short exactly here. This was the point 830, 820. This. So this was the alert called in the room. But right now, 10:30, we have the possibility, if we hold over here the open level in the VWAP, this can push, and can even turn on a runner. So this is really the clue moment. Okay, we're going to put these 3 levels over here. So this is a stuff exactly into that 820, 825, which is this previous level of resistance. You can see we pushed 820, 825, unwinded, so that unwind is our short. And if we get to that 820, that would be our stop, break even. If we consolidate instead above this VWAP in 820 zone, then we can look really to have a push this morning to 880. This morning we had the 2 main setups on this one. A good over here along at the J lines, and a good open short over here. You can see now the volume is high. Look at that volume over here. It's increasing pretty good. A45. It's not a long for me yet. I need to see more consolidation. And we have the last resistance over here, A850. A50 over here, still holding the A50. We have sellers as well jumping in. You can see that once we are below A50, they're starting to short, right? They're using this level over here. The volume is high. For me, this is not an A+ setup to short. We'll simply avoid, and even better looking for more consolidation, probably 820, 830, and then a push long at this point. So it's really reversing over here. And this is the main level to watch.
Joseph,
This is an example.
a few questions on your Apple when you have a moment.
Yeah, this is an example, for example, Bruce, of what I mean. That push on Apple that we saw at the open, and you see that perfect execution over here from a trader in the group. But you can see this level that we were looking, and then he was looking for that main unwind. So this is exactly how to execute the trade over here that we were looking before at Apple. So perfect work, just following over here the rules. He trimmed a little bit too much at this point, but I would say overall a very good trade. I like this play a lot. How he took it.
Yeah, I would imagine having a liquidity map there would be helpful for that trader.
Yeah. He actually has Bookmap, so he followed that together with Bookmap.
Excellent.
Yeah. He's one of the students that I'm following, and that Bookmap gave us a confirmation for the trade over here. I will put again Apple, so to see the execution together with the liquidity. There we are. So you can see that before we were looking for that timing, right? And over here you can see that the price pushes, and over here we see the price pushes on the Bookmap, and then forms this lower high over here. And this is a pattern that I love to trade, the morning 3-way pattern. And then over here we have the open level breakdown. As soon as we have this open level over here, he sees that we have sellers in. So look at what a perfect timing over here of the trade. And then down here, you start taking a little bit of partials, and then you can see more selling pressure. Start taking more partial down here, especially because this is the level. There we are. This is the level where you start bouncing. So you start taking the major profit down here. You start looking over here that until this moment we had lower highs and lower lows. Over here we start making higher lows. This is the first time we start making higher lows. And in this case, you also use over here the MACD, which is not a bad indicator, but much better over here to spot the triple bottom. You can see the 145 main buyers, and then the higher low at this point, and starting to take more profit on this curl back up. So very good execution over here. I like this. Okay, let's go back to tops. Sorry, to ABUS. Also, tops over here made a big wash. So ABS, what is doing, traders? Above the open level. Holding over here the VWAP, holding the 9A, holding the support 850. I'm not really looking to trade this short. The only level I will be looking for short will be this $10. Over here, we'll only look for possible dips and longs. Tops in the meantime came to this 360. Remember what we were saying? We're saying I was looking for 360, 380 for a short. Happened the same thing as before. It stuffed over here into the 370. So this area, you can see the top over here. Again, there are golden zone area. And then right away they slam it. Big wash over here. So broke over here, probably sweeps. Stop loss of the longs, and main target over here 1 minute in. This is brutal wash over here. So now if somebody is short on this one, main target today will be around 260. So this stock traders trade around 22 million volume. I started with a gap and crap. It's not anymore a gap and crap over here. So I'm not looking to trade this short for the day. This will be a long or on a 90 MA or a fake wash long. So we're going to look for that. Now this is exactly, Bruce, of what I was talking about. So execution from a trade over here, but that's perfect way to show the pattern. So when we are looking for this stop over here at 360, the level too short, good. I would say over here, very good. Let's see if I can zoom in. This is not my computer, so I'm trying to share as best I can. But you can see over here the perfect level too short. So very good. And the trader over here starting to take profit into the 1 minute tailings and unwind. So great job. I like this. And the same thing happened on BIF this morning. If we have time, we'll review it later.
The tops trade is so very different. I mean, like some of your trading is just related to, it seems at least that it's related to your moving averages and pullbacks, but you've got, I mean, you're not buying off of the bounce there. Instead, you're shorting off of the move back to the stuff, then shorting it back to the moving averages.
Yeah, well, this is one of the members in the room that traded this. I just wanted to share
Ah,
the perfect way over here to short. So he's basically looking for the levels over here. And as we were seeing before when we were explaining this main stop 380, so you start over here to short this zone over here 380, risking this high. You can see it's a perfect way to short. And then over here adding and taking the profit at the tail ends over here. Really perfect execution. Great work over here from this member. So well done, like this.
a question back to your Apple stock,
Hmm.
and the what you were talking about is in the range right now. Therefore, you're not touching it.
Yeah,
So um, okay, I'm just from your J lines. I mean, typically, like, yeah, you are looking for that big trend, and it has to break the daily range. Once it's broken the daily range, now you're looking for your pullbacks. Is that correct?
exactly. The point over here is that I want to see a continuation of the trend to the downside. So in this case, we have this first uh, wave. Then over here, we have a second one. Then I want to look for this kind of trend. Of course, this doesn't mean I will start shorting over here. I will look to short into this area or below this point over here, which is the low of the day. But that's the continuation of the trend I want because it's what Apple has been doing. And if you don't follow the trend, if you start looking always for counter trend moves, you're not going to trade a direction, then you're going to encounter much more losses. So over here, the point, if you look at the chart on an hourly, this is an hourly chart on Apple. I can really spot over here the zones where I want to short here, 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 and then of course today I'm going to look for a continuation. So those are the levels that ideally I want to short. And I cannot really long over here counter trend or long counter trend. I want to stay with the short side. If we look at the daily chart and we look at the last 1 month and a half over here on Apple, we can see that this only put lower highs, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's just unwinding, okay? And that's the reason why I want to look only for a short side over here. So I'm staying with the trend, have a better risk reward, I have less risk of getting stopped out because I'm trading versus the main direction. And that really gives me an edge in trading. So right now, if we have this pullback over here, I'm not really interested unless I have or this high, which was the pre-market high, or really we are below this level over here of the pre-market low, or 145, which is the low of the day. So very precise levels where to look for. I'm looking for my strategy, my patterns. If I don't have that, there's no trade over here. We already had so many opportunities for the days, so I'm not really looking for anything else.
If I can just, since it's been a while, and just trying to kind of enumerate or kind of sum up
Hmm.
uh, what you're what I remember from, I mean, it's been years now, you've been you've been presenting here. So you're looking at already things that are moving. That's one of your key tenets here, is to understand what's moving in the marketplace. And that's why if you do not see something like Apple here moving outside of its range and trending, you are not taking the trade.
Exactly.
So a lot of times the large caps, they don't move, so therefore you don't get that bigger move or trend outside of the range. But the smaller cap, that's why you will go to the smaller caps, because something will always be moving in the small cap land.
Exactly. I mean, a trade like we saw, for example, before on Apple. Let's say we have 2 or 3 trades like this in a week. I mean, with size or even with option, that's your can be your weekly or monthly paycheck. So you don't need necessarily to trade every single day. You have only to take the A plus setup opportunities where you know that you will have like a high win rate and more than this, a good risk reward ratio. So looking for 3, 4, 5, even 10 R in a trade. That really makes you build your account fast and you can live by trading like this. I see a lot of traders that they want to trade every single day. And yes, on small caps, you'll have opportunities every single day. If you scalp, I have scalpers that I'm teaching on the big caps and futures. They're trading every single day. But if you are a day trader, if you're looking for momentum, you don't want to look for a sideways action. You need to see the trend. You need to see something is moving because momentum traders, day traders, they want to make money fast on what's moving that day. They cannot wait a consolidation for like 2 months or 3 weeks. They want to see money coming in that 30 minutes, 2 hours that they're trading. So that's the key point. Finding levels, finding stocks, looking at order flow, and looking at chart patterns. Without this, I mean, you won't be successful. So you have to be looking really for what's moving out of the day. And you have to play it according to your strategy. So you can see over here, Bruce, right now, even if you look at Apple and we see these dumps from 147.20, 146.70, I mean, this is for a scalp play or for a day trader is nothing to trade. All right. And I can put over here. So when I say scalping, something like this. Okay, so where you enter in and out, and you basically have so many executions. All right, this is a way of scalping that I'm teaching to some members, and it's very profitable. It's very, very profitable. The point is, in this case, simply don't care if you have over here a trend outside the previous day range or not. He's basically using the levels to trade, and with a precise system, he's making money daily. Okay, so that's the point.
Yeah, and then in this Apple example, it is a move outside of the range, but a stuff, and then you're looking for covering back into the range.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. Like over here, let's say this morning we have right now at 11:30 a push to this level, and over here it fails. I would short this level over here, put in tie stop, looking if I have sellers on Bookmap, and then looking to cover at precise levels. Like basically happen over here at the gate on this push and the big unwind over here.
Okay.
All right, let's
Joseph, just one more question on
sure.
I'm just curious, the integration of you've taken a new step, a big step with looking at more quantitative data,
Hmm.
and do some of the trades that you've been looking at today, have those played a part?
Exactly. It really has. So if you look over here at ABOS, Bruce, uh, look the stats of this company. Let me see if I can bring them up. Uh, Sorry for this, as I said, is computer my wife. So let's see. If you put stats into your trading will have an edge. And absolutely, you can come and write me and ask me about the stats. It will help you. But absolutely, you will have like a better a better performance. Absolutely. So this is ABOS, right? And I'm going to explain the point over here. You see that ABOS this morning has institutional ownership, guys, over here, 55%. So not focusing right now on the news, why this is up. Actually has no news as a sympathy. Not focusing on the financials. You see the company, for example, has no revenues. Not focusing on the history. So, for example, somebody will look over here. This is a small cap. It's a gap. No news. No revenues. Will short, 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 and short. It's true. This morning we had an A plus set up short over here, but I wanna share this 2 seconds, uh, which I think is very important to make traders understand. Let's see the stats. ABOS, ABOS, ABOS. Okay, so this morning, for example, explaining possible long scenario coming, and this I explained at 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. stats for institutional, reclaim 1 minute James, then curl with 90-minute curl up. So at 10 o'clock, so exactly here, when we were at this point, I was saying if we hold over here on ABOS at this point, we have a high chance for this being a grinder and a runner. Because what I did was back testing the stats, and it's pretty easy. This is Jtrader. I do it with this app, and I back tested all the stats in the last now 5 months on parameters like over here in ABOS. And what I found out is that with precise parameters, so percentage of gap, volume traded, institutional, and over here holding by 10 o'clock, okay, so before I did a first back testing from 10:30, then 10 o'clock holding the open level, I know that 80% of these 80% of these close green on the day. So what does it mean? Yes, over here stuffing, everybody saw it, we can take a scalp, but rather than this will be a headache trade to short. Because you can see over here, once we reclaim the open level, the VWAP, at this point where you see the error, it already up $1. So what I want to do over here is I don't want to short because I have my stats telling me that this could be a grinder all day. And that's the importance of doing the stats, traders.
Yeah, so again, it looks, the stats are fantastic. However, it is an overall picture. It's not a setup or anything like that, but it can guide you now to point to what kind of setups you're looking for.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, that's fantastic. You've just filtered out and made things so much more higher probability for yourself.
Exactly. And this morning, I even made a tweet around 8 o'clock saying about the stats. So it's not, I'm inventing things before or after. Just explain over here. This was my 220 to 8:20 a.m. Saying over here this reminder: high institutional ownership on a 24 million float with now new sympathy, no revenues, fib level. By back testing, we have the possibility of 80% times closing green. And explain this 1 hour before the open. That's what stats give me. So I teach a lot about statistics and displays, how to manage them, how to build your, I would say, your chances to making money in the market.
So Joseph, I'm not trying to. I just have all sorts of questions today. I'm sorry, uh, but if you have time to cover, maybe you can go through like how you would look at how to trade something like that via the order flow, and how
Okay.
that can give you an edge. Because clearly, like if you have that stat, You got your candlestick chart and your moving averages and your levels, but it's going to be the order flow that's going to really be helpful for some of that.
Exactly. Exactly. Because stats give me an idea, or they tell me in the past, we had this happening 80% of the time. 80% of the time on, if I remember correctly, 60 stocks. Now, that doesn't tell me where to trade. So what I want to do over here is looking for a possibility of an A plus setup to trade. The A plus setup to trade over here comes only if I start seeing, I look at a 1 and a 5-minute chart. This is a 5-minute chart. First of all, we can see over here a hold of this level. Okay, so this is a main target for this type of stock that I'm trading. And then I start looking for a reclaimed open level, which is the open level this over here, around 810. If I see a consolidation above, or I start seeing dips into Bookmap, then I can start to trade this. Over here this morning, I had the only A plus setup is this wash over here. So I would trade this every single time at 9, 9, 10 for the long. Why not taking this over here? I didn't have, besides this level over here, I didn't have my my J-line curl or the perf 90 MA curl that I wanted. This is the only A plus setup that I will see over here because we have a level, in this case a $9 level. We have this washout. So a beautiful V pattern that you know, Bruce, that I look at these V patterns often. And exactly this on the reclaim of that 9, so 9, 905, 910, that's my level too long. And this is, for example, what I did yesterday on ATXI all morning. All morning ATXI went up more than 100%. I was taking longs, 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 and longs. And that's how we mastered the first part of the day on ATXI. We took an amazing long scenario. And now what happens over here? We see 950. So a lot of traders over here will start to short. It's not a short because we'll see a lot of resistance here, here, here. Doesn't mean, Bruce, that we see a resistance, we'll have a rejection. You know how many times, for example, you're long, you're putting yourself on a, you want to sell, so you're putting yourself on the ask. Let's say you're long over here, A70. Doesn't mean that you have over here the power to push down the market. I mean, over here, if you see this tape, if you see this order flow, it's all green over here, dots. So we have a lot of main buyers. The sellers over here are just who want probably take profit. We have no backside of the move. We're making higher lows. This is just like a fake washout. That gives me a low degree risk to enter long. And that's what I trade. A very low risk for, 5, 6, even 10-hour return on these trades. Now, did I take long this morning? No, I'm not trading this morning over here personally. As I said, I'm in the States. I have to leave tomorrow morning very early, so today will be a hectic day for me. I need to be calm and have everything to trade. But that's exactly what I teach to my members to do every single morning. That is the level that I'm showing over here, this fake breakdown, that level of here. Once we reclaim the VWAP, of course, you can say, oh, Jay, I'm going to trade long over here. And that's fine, but you have to be very careful in case we stuff and we go back down over here. Okay, remember always that even if the stats tell you this is going to be 80% long, I want to see always a confirmation. So only if you have very good skills, and like in this case, that you can read Bookmap pretty good, and you can analyze over here the, let's see over here, okay, this is perfect. And you can see over here the price section, then you can take over here longs over here in the reclaim of the VWAP.
Yeah, this is fascinating, Joseph. It's like you have been looking at for many years, and obviously continue to look at your candlestick charts. However, now we can see the lack of transparency that they offer.
Mm-hmm.
So number one is the statistics. There's no statistics in here whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So you're using your own tool for that. And then you're looking at Bookmap to confirm, like some of those areas, like in that dip.
Exactly.
That's where you would get in. And again, it's just that kind of transparency. Like I don't know. I'm not trying to like push or pump Bookmap here. I'm just saying that I think the other charts are, and we've been looking at stuff that's just antiquated, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I can tell you, Bruce, that I've been mentoring a lot of traders in the past years. A lot of these uh, had, I would say, no clue of what Bookmap was in the beginning. So they were pretty, like, I would say, hesitant and to learn. But then when they saw how I was using it, explaining, for example, all the plays using Bookmap together with the chart pattern that I teach, they started to be, I would say, um, so convinced about this, and their trading performance improved so much. And I can tell you this, like, on dozen and dozen and dozen of traders that I've been following. So try it, guys, and just let me know. I'm over here really to hear you. But that's how I trade, and every single day I screen share, explaining all these setups. I made even a video like a few days ago explaining Bookmap together on small caps on my YouTube page. So I was using Bookmap for about 15-20 minutes, and it was live. Okay, so it was live. You can see all the execution, everything that we played, me and other 5 traders. I think so cool because we share in the exact moment the market was doing things. We were longing, sharing executions, and sharing what we saw in Bookmap and explaining Bookmap. So you saw exactly my accounts. You see exactly my traders, 4 or 5 traders taking the exact same trades, long and short. That was a cool thing we did live. So now over here, where we're looking over here on ABOS, I'm not looking to short. So this for me is a no short. Maybe we can have like some dips over here to the 890 or 880. But again, stats, order flow, still like pushing over here. I'm gonna only look for long plays.
That's fantastic, Joseph. I mean, this is a big change. Uh, whereas before, like you'd be looking to trade it back down to those moving averages.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to see over here. Now I'm looking at this level. Remember before we had the 895, $9. We had over here a fast washout. As I said, I'm not looking too short over here. Okay, buy up tops. Apple still in the range. Okay, we have to wait. I think this is the most interesting stock for now to trade. So sellers over here stop. You can see a little bit of stall. They're using this $9 support. For now, we're just waiting over here. And I also would like to say that a lot of traders think it's only about winning, 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 winning. Um, I can tell you this, trading is not winning. Instead, trading is about losing and learning how to lose. This is, just to make an example, this is an example of this. Okay, this is a scalper trader that I'm following. He's doing still small size, but the point is he's having around 38-40% win rate. So everybody will tell me, oh, that's too low, okay? Of course, over here is not paying commissions. There are certain routes that you can use, for example, with Cobra and other brokers that you don't pay commissions. The point is his return per trade is very good. That's how he can have these days, all right? And doesn't mean that you have to have a 70% win rate to make money. He's using what? He's using Bookmap and big caps with a strategy I teach him. That's it. So he's been doing this for the last 3 months. Now we're going to look for the 4 figures daily soon. But a point over here is that we're looking for example, per trade, $15 stop. But for return, we're looking for a $30, $40 target, sometimes even more. So even with a 40% win rate, you can be highly profitable and make money. That's the main point of the game. Okay, so learn how to lose, not to win every single time. And this is another trader with Bookmap, for example, that I'm teaching on big caps. He's only doing Bookmap 2 stocks a day. Still small size, but it's consistent. So no drawdowns, knowing how to risk, sizing up will come. So just keep patience. But that's what I want to see when I look at the performance as a trader. Okay, so this is very, very important. Again, this is another trader that uses Bookmap and the pattern. That's it. Trading is very simple if you know what to do.
Joseph, I mean, that's amazing. I mean, you can't be much clearer on what it takes to trade. Don't worry about the wins; they will take care of themselves. Worry about the losses and your trade management. There's one big piece that's missing, I think, from that, and that is that they are trading with something that has an edge, and that comes first. That they know exactly what they're looking for, and they're taking it again and again and again, and there will be losses on it, and there will be different variations of what they're looking at in trading, but it is their plan, and they know that they have an edge doing it. Once that happens, and then the trade management that doesn't freak them out, and then they can handle their emotions and understand the drawdowns and the trade management. Now they've got something really solid that gives them confidence. They know that these trades work, and they've proven it to themselves.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. Um, the last thing that traders will need to learn after they learn the strategy, and by strategy I mean uh, patterns, reading order flow, risk management, is self-control. That is the key, unless you make, an algorithm or bots that trade for you. That's a key in uh, becoming profitable, or looking for making 7 figures a year or even more. Uh, Self-control and discipline, and for this is a lot of training. Okay, it's like, for example, if you're an athlete, you're very good, but then even athletes have mental coaches. So self-control in trading is one of the most important things that you need to practice, because there are like precise exercises, precise things that you have to do to control yourself. So you can see over here, Bruce, that ABS, look, it told us before, okay, if you didn't know over here that it's a high institutional, will trap. It told over here we're having a breakdown. So what happens over here? We'll have like short sellers who are long stopping out at this point. Instead, what happened? We know perfectly, and remember what I told you, I'm not looking over here to short. I said possibly we're going to have a dip to 880, and then we'll push back up. And that's what this kind of stocks do generally. So if you have like, observe this and watch this type of stock with certain parameters over and over and over, and you know over here not to get faked out, and you have to look over here the bigger picture, you're still in, you're still riding the trend, and you're still looking for, a more upside move.
Yeah, that quantitative data is just building even more and more confidence for you.
Yeah. Another execution before, Bruce, remember when we were talking about tops, and we were looking for that 360. This is, again, another trader over here taking that 360 perfect over here. looking for that unwind. So taking the trade, shorting. This is just doing right now live and just like send it to me. So you can see where we were looking before, the level on the chart, Bookmap pushing that 360. Right away you can see over here the shift from buyers to sellers. This is so easy really to spot. And what he took the trade over there, short, covers and covers along the way. Very, very easy.
Yeah, that's a beautiful example.
You know, picture perfect over here, you see? Just right now. So this trader took it. This other trader took it. I'm pretty proud of her. She's Mary. Um, Another trader over here took, as we said before. So you can see the same patterns. And it's very reliable. It's very easy to spot this if you have the right tools. And ABOS is curling back up. Again, for me, this won't be a no short until maybe $10. Even here, we need to see a major fake clear out. Look over here, what they're doing now is 930, 940. What happens over here? Sorry, sellers. So now we have big sellers over here, pressure. What I short over here? No, it's not my level. Because I know these stocks tend to do this over and over and over. And it's still uptrend. So I only will be looking for that 10.
So, and again, it's probabilities. I mean, 80% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
80% tells us that it will close green on the day. So it's already green.
right.
Of course, could go closing at 850, 860. But I'm not taking any chance over here of shorting these levels over here. Because I know that by this setup, the level we want to look is up here.
And can you maybe talk a little bit about institutional ownership within these? It seems to be a big component.
Yes. So let's put over here. We'll put over here something about institutional. So when we're talking about institutional traders, remember you will see filings, the SC13. So you can go like on your filings and check for it. I'm sorry. Or you can look for direct in the stats with JTrader. It's not that with high institutional. So when I say high institutional means like an institution above 40%, we cannot trade short. Okay. It just means that it will be more manipulated. And what does it also mean? It means that we can have more longs if we're gonna hold the dips, right? So for me, it's a rule of thumb that with high institutional, it's more difficult to short. So what I'm gonna do, for example, if I wanna short, I really think this is gonna be a good short, I'm gonna, for example, look for more scalping plays. I will look also for more precise levels using Bookmap, or I will look simply for long. Remember, look at for the SC13, okay? Look for the SC13. Pull back over here to the previous low at 80, which was the previous support, this area. Okay, let's check over here, Apple. So sideways action. Just what we were saying before, sideways action. I'm not gonna trade over here. I can put my levels trace my trend line. So what we're going to do over here, we're going to remove some things, clear drawing set, put in a higher time frame. So I'm going to look for a 5 minutes or a 50-minute chart. All right. So let's look if we can have that breakdown. This is the pre-market low. This is the low of the day. Pre-market resistance. So what I'm going to do over here, I'm going to only look below 145 and 50, 145. This area here to start looking for a short, not before. Before we're looking at tops. So tops right now is fading. So if short, just hold it short. ABS over here to the 1-minute J lines. So we're going to look for another possible long. This time, let's see if we can alert it live if we have the pattern. And some small support over here is 70. Still not a long over here. What I'm looking is a trendline break, consolidation long, or a fake washout long.
Do you find yourself, I guess in this example, you said you would short it if it becomes overextended.
Mm-hmm.
So you would go against some of your quantitative data, but only under specific circumstances.
Yeah, because even if the stocks tend to close green by 80% of the time, they can extend, and the average of extension is around 18-20%. Let's say they extend 40%. I still have buy stats that they will retrace from that 40% 50%, okay, to a 20%. In that case, let's say we even extend to that 980, 10, 10, 20, or maybe this 940 will be the top. We don't know, okay? But the point is, if I have the level, if I have Bookmap telling me to short, I still will take a short because it's still a pattern that I trade, and I know that even if I have an extension, even if I have a high institutional ownership, they can extend and then they will pull back. If I look, for example, at the daily chart, now I don't know if in ABS we can find it, but for example, look at this candle over here. Yeah, it extended, and this extension could be that pre-market high, could be that daily level, and then it pulled back. So I still have, a massive win if I short up here and I cover down here. So in that case, it's still valid for me to take that, that short. Some hold over here with the support. You can see they had a little bit of absorption over here at that 870 traders. That's a good bounce from that. You can see I'm zooming in. You can see over here at 870, right? They absorbed over here, the sellers. They start like bouncing it. Would I enter over here? No, I need a little bit more confirmation. I want at least like a 20-30 minutes of sideways action and to long over here. So we have all time, even if we take only one trade per day.
Boy, the spread is pretty big on that too.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
When you see spreads like that, are you getting in mostly like you hit,
Bid.
buy on the bid?
Yeah, I will try to get a fill the bid, or maybe, bid plus a couple of cents.
Hmm.
I don't want to, jump on the ask, have already like 15 cents sense of spread, and I'm ready, like, on the war even before the stock moving.
Yeah. Joseph, I have
Yeah, it's gonna.
another question for you too. God, I'm sorry, I'm so filled with questions today. And I know you're busy and you've.
Actually, Bruce is good because I have some members over here writing me that questions are good because they can understand things better. So I think it's more exciting over here, like, uh, adult desk, like Latin used to say, like, a feedback one-on-one like this.
Oh, okay, okay. But I just know you're also busy. You're going to be catching your flight and etc. later, so
Yeah.
I'll try to keep it brief. I'm also wondering about like commissions and offering some of these brokers that are offering commission free.
hmm
How do you feel about that? Because basically
Uh,
you're selling them your liquidity
hmm hmm
to somebody
So,
else.
so the point is, you're asking me if brokers with free commissions are good?
I'm asking, yeah, if you find it doesn't really affect you, or if you are willing to pay for the commission to get a better fill.
Personally, I think that there are brokers that are good also with free commissions, yes. Uh, but also, you can even have brokers that will charge you commissions. Um, and you even can have free routes through them. Okay. I cannot make over here publicity because you know that I work with certain brokers, Bruce, so
Yes, of course.
I don't want to do that. But there's a good amount of good brokers out there right now. Being that you pay commissions, you can still make money, or that you cannot pay commissions. I would only look for one thing to say. Try, if you're paying commissions, to use the bid to buy or short the ask, or even to sell the ask. So add liquidity, because if you have certain brokers, you will have rebates. And so with the ACM fees, you will, like, it's like if you pay partial of your commission, they will pay. Or if you also, like, let's say trading, remember that if you don't buy on the ask, so if you don't take liquidity, but you add liquidity, like by buying the bid, you'll always buy lower. In that case, if the trend goes against you, the trade goes against you, you have a better feel. There's a double sword in this. If I buy, let's say, if I want to short, okay, this is, for example, a scalping pattern that I teach. If I short over here on the ask, you will never get filled. Unless some upticks, but means the tape will stall. If it's a fast wash, you will never get filled, never. So what it means, you will lose the opportunity. So you have to know when to buy on the ask, or when to short the ask, buy the bid, or buy the ask. In this case, I will short only the bid because I know it's a stuff entry. This morning over here, where you can see that we basically tapped into the J-lines. Bookmap was simply sick over here. We called this, we alerted this. I was saying just a few minutes before the gate, traders look for this pattern. Picture perfect. I'm really proud of this. But over here, if you short the ask, bye. You stay on the ask, Bruce, over here, 840. I'm shorting 820, and I'm getting fill over here. My exit is 750, and still you're waiting to get fill over here. So, short over here on this fast momentum trading environment at the gate, you have to shorten the bid. Unless, you have like preset orders, which is still good in this case. You have like preset orders over here, what they call like over here putting out limits, fantasy orders. They're not really fantasy because they're short on a precise level, but it's a preset order. In that case, you get fill partial that hit the bid when it comes back down. Vice versa, the same thing when it happens for the long side, right? So it's the same exact thing. The only thing I would say, take a broker that has a very good customer care. If you want to do this professionally, you need a very good customer care. That's the main point for me. So maybe you pay something more, but any problem, they fix for you 2 seconds. So I wouldn't look for too much discount brokers. I mean, there are some discount brokers. It's good for swing. You put the money there. But rather than that, if you want to day trade seriously, If you want to make 7 figures a year, it's like, could you run a Formula One with a Fiat 500 or with, for example, the new Ferrari of Leclerc or Verstappen or whatever, Red Bull? I don't think with a 500 Fiat it will do any good.
You never know, though.
Why you own a 500 Fiat?
No, 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 no. Good. Just yeah, just it's clear as day, Joseph.
So let's give a last recap over here what we were having. Apple traders. Everybody wants to trade Apple today. So many people writing me this morning, Apple, bad news, will fail down. Okay, it failed over here, pre-market already. Now it's pulling back again, or we get this level 148 and 50. So monitor this during the day, or below 145 and 50. Buy it. It's a stock that we are looking at the gate. It pushed over here. This had a main volume exhaustion over here, these big spikes. Then over here, topping stops. We are looking to play these, and now it's the main fader all the way down. Tops, Wahoo trade over here, perfect at the golden zone area. So really proud of a lot of traders over here who got it. And then target over here will be around 250. And then over here we have ABOS. What we are looking, Bruce? What I said, don't short, right? Look the stats. Yeah. And look over here, what? Look this. Do you see over here any sellers? Of course we'll have a little bit of sellers, but look over here. This is a sweep to the upside. So somebody over here was a short that maybe put a stop loss. Look what a squeeze. This is incredible, right? So I don't want to short this crap, buddy. I don't want to short this crap.
Yeah. I mean, that quantitative data is just an amazing filter.
Yeah. And look over here, Bookmap. I don't see, besides over here on that stuff, look, some sellers. I don't see over here sellers. Where they are. So right on this push over here, which is this first pullback 90 May, I don't see anything over here that I want to sell, that I want to short. So learn how to read this, guys. Learn how to read this. Look at the difference now. I'm going to make you a little bit of test. Look over here, this chart from here. Tell me if the majority of these dots are red or green. Green, totally. Now you look at, let's see what we were looking at before. Okay, look at Apple this morning. Let's see if we can go to Apple back over here. I have to zoom in a little bit more. Zoom a little bit more. Okay, look over here. Look, the majority of these dots being all red. Look, that's a heavy tape. So that's a heavy tape. And that area over here is a strong tape. You see the difference? So traders, really look at these things, okay? They help you be in a trade for longer. I want to share the last thing, Bruce. Sorry, because this is a poll, and he traded with this software today, and he's sending me this to share with you. So he's right away with us following us. Just look over here, what a beautiful play. This is, he's explaining Tesla over here, right? So the bounce over here from the VWAP, the curl, and you can see over here these levels of heat map, they are like magnets where you see the liquidity going through. And what he did over here, Bruce, he longed, start selling to the upside. What a beautiful trade. What a beautiful trade. Look, he got the long into the 282, added 282 and 40, and then he sold on this push. And how he did it, he just sent me over here. He's using Bookmap together with over here the play on Apple. This is doing live right now. He's one of my mentor students. So very proud of this job. You see, Bruce, how beautiful this is?
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Amazing work. So just this, guys, really. All right, Bruce, I need to fix a little bit of things for tomorrow, the speeds and everything. I will send you some pics from Twitter for calls. If anybody over here that's listening to us is in Vegas, just come to see me. We'll be happy. We'll see next week. Bruce, you said you're not here, right?
That's correct. I'll be away, but Sam will come in and cover.
Okay.
He loves doing it with you. So
Okay, perfect. All right, Jada. So thank you very much, Bruce. I love really today to have this Q&A, was I think so great for even a lot of members and a lot of traders out there. Thank you, guys. Again, if you need help, reach out, Bruce, me anytime, and have a good day.
thank you, Joseph.